Hello everyone. These days you can find almost anything online, especially if you know where to look. There are particularly a lot of cat videos, as well as videos that are just plain weird. What's going on? Why is it happening? How did it end up on camera as well? Who uploaded it to the internet? There are always more questions than answers, so it's better if you see everything with your own eyes. Let's get it on. There are people who don't like cops very much. Usually they have their reasons. But what about dogs? Yeah, dogs who can't stand law officers, or at least police cars. In 2010, a Chattanooga police officer in Tennessee was suddenly attacked. He was quietly working, sitting in his car, when he suddenly felt the vehicle was moving. He stepped out to find the reason, and it turned out that a bulldog was chewing on his patrol car.
What's the cross there? I'm in route.
Then the bulldog was joined by other local dogs, and the car just didn't stand a chance. Some children complain and even throw tantrums when it comes to doing household chores. Nevertheless, one brave young boy seems to be happy to take up any task that's assigned to him, like taking out the garbage. Although he should have probably asked his parents for help. You know, big people who won't be blown away by a gust of wind. Apparently, the kid felt like a hero and wanted to deal with it on his own. Well, let's thank him for his bravery, and for this funny video. Praying before dinner is a common tradition in many families, and since the dog is practically a member of the family, he should join in. This little Jack Russell Terrier simply loves his humans and is willing to share every moment of his life with them, even if it's a prayer before a meal. We're not sure if he learned the trick on his own or if someone taught him, but that doesn't matter because it's just too adorable. It's no secret that Coke and Mentos are not the best combination. Unless, of course, you want to build an alternative engine or go viral on YouTube. We don't know exactly what this guy was doing. Maybe he just wanted to see what would happen if... Maybe he was hoping that the closed bottle would explode, spilling foam and sweet soda everywhere.
You missed the top. Oh no!
But it turned out that the bottle cap couldn't contain all the power of the Coke and Mentos chemical reaction. A bit like with Magneto, no plastic jail is gonna help. So if you dare to repeat an experiment like this, please do it outdoors. And you'd better get as far away as possible. Who knows which way the bottle will end up shooting. It's not easy being a mailman. One of the biggest challenges, or even threats, for postmen is interacting with other people's pets. Postmen usually encounter formidable guard dogs or very affectionate puppies while working, but it's cats with sharp claws that usually cause the most trouble.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
The author of this video knows about this problem firsthand, because his meetings with this cat have long turned into a daily battle. A battle for the mail. Every day the cat is waiting at the window for the mailman to arrive. The moment he appears on the horizon, the cat takes his place at the door, right next to the mail slot. And if you think it's easy to deliver mail to a house protected by this little predator, just look at its claws. It's a real pet panther.
Nuts. Here. How am I going to get the mail in there? Here's the letter. Take the letter with you. Oops. Give me my glove back, you.
If a robber tries to break into this house, they're probably going to have a bad time. Fish live underwater. That's a pretty obvious fact, and nobody would argue with it, not even little children. But still, sometimes fish are eager to get to the surface. And no, not to evolve. Just imagine, you're sailing on a boat down the river, minding your own business, and the fish around you start some kind of jumping championship. In fact, these fish are not crazy, and they don't do that to attract any human attention. Many fish sometimes jump out of the water, and the reasons can be very different. For example, to eat or to bypass some obstacle. For example, salmon can jump up to 3 meters to overcome rapids when going to spawn, and some fish are just very nervous and get scared easily. They jump out of the water because they're disturbed by the appearance of people. If one fish gets scared, that's just a chain reaction that's very hard to stop. Unlike fish, cats don't like water very much. If you have a pet like that, you probably know this firsthand, because every bathing session turns into a strategic military operation with screams and scratched hands. But the best part is that cats are not only afraid of water, but they're also very aware that other cats don't like it either. Well, at least that's the case with these two fluffy brothers that were caught on camera. The owner just wanted to keep the house safe from burglars, but ended up with a cat crime footage. Okay, not a crime, just a little prank, pushing your little brother into the pool. We can almost hear the older cat giggling. People usually think that only humans are capable of having friendship, offering mutual support and being wholesome in general. Well, maybe some pack animals like wolves do this too, but other creatures are used to standing up for themselves on their own. Well, it turns out that even turtles know a thing or two about friendship. This little turtle got stuck on top of a small rock and couldn't come down despite all the attempts. This story could have ended up very sadly if a bigger turtle hadn't come to the rescue, and he acted like a real friend.
He helped him for real.
For some unknown reason, snakes are also very fond of cars. Maybe they like that they're warm and smell of gasoline, or maybe they feel the need for speed. It's pretty hard to feel the wind in your hair when you're slowly creeping on the ground, right? And when you have no hair. Anyway, this snake climbed on the side mirror of the car, and the driver didn't notice the unexpected passenger until he gained a good speed. And then he was terrified and couldn't stop. Maybe it's a venomous snake.
Oh my gosh. Oh, he's coming after you.
Apparently, the driver was hoping that at this speed the snake would just fall off the mirror and jump to the roadside, but it was holding on pretty tight. Internet users didn't like what he did though. They were outraged and said that the driver had to stop and then carefully remove the hitchhiker before it got hurt. But what would you do in his shoes? A really strong wind can tear down roofs, turn cars over, damage doors and windows, break trees, and create chaos around. Basically, if it's windy outside, you should find some shelter and wait until it's over, and definitely not go out in flip-flops. Even if the forecast didn't promise a full-scale hurricane, you better wear more reliable shoes, otherwise you could accidentally repeat Cinderella's fate. Have you ever wondered why goats are used as a symbol of evil forces? There doesn't seem to be anything particularly scary about them. After all, why goats and not cows or geese? Have you ever heard them hissing? It's certainly a creature of evil. But let's go back to goats. This little guy named Billy must be a very good-natured goat. Maybe he's loved by kids and he's very funny. But what kind of sounds does he make? Billy, are you alright? Billy? When you're a kid, a tornado can be not only scary, but also insanely fascinating, especially if you make it with your own hands using a leaf blower. Oh, sounds awesome! And it's even cooler if you make a fire tornado. By the way, don't try to make a fire tornado at home, it can be very dangerous. The stars of our video decided to use ashes instead of fire. They probably expected it to go up beautifully, spin, and form some kind of mysterious figure. Sorry boys, the laws of physics are ruthless, and sometimes the ashes can attack you, literally. We have repeatedly said that golf is a much more interesting game than it seems at first glance, especially when you consider everything that can go wrong on the course. You know, balls hitting someone in the head, broken windows, alligators crawling out to join the game, and of course, clubs that suddenly fly away. If you don't calculate the force of the blow, you get a scene worthy of Looney Tunes. But what we like the most is the guy's reaction. Yeah, golf is probably not my thing. The things you can see in security footage. This is one of the most amazing and reliable sources of content. A huge number of funny, absurd, scary, and just strange videos were shot like this, all by accident. Like, for example, this girl visiting the store. She seems to have done everything to show her best side. We can't blame anyone for that, and the salesman doesn't seem upset about the attention, except the girl's appearance hasn't dulled his vigilance. The seller noticed that his pretty customer is hiding something. It remains a mystery to us how he managed to solve this crime. Maybe this guy has X-ray vision. Psst! Dude, are you looking for new technologies and great gadgets? Are your thoughts focused on the future? Do you love huge vehicles and can't imagine your life without robots around you? Then visit TechZone and you'll find all this and more. The link is in the description. You interested? Great.